Now, the Apex Bank yesterday said it will diversify between 5% to 10% of forex reserves into the Chinese yuan. It says the U.S. debt crisis and China's growing economic importance in the global economic zone are just one of the reasons for the diversification. The regulator also said it is seeking to take advantage of China's growing economic might, and trade flows between both countries are on the rise also. Now, 79% of Nigeria's $33 billion forex reserves are dollar denominated. China also accounts for about 15% of Nigeria's imports. Gabriel Dahosa is here, and we're still looking at today's topic. Now, many analysts have said that we know that China is experiencing rapid economic growth, but that there might be a hype, or it might all be exaggerated, and that since these markets are quite unpredictable, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, that the Chinese one may not reach the status that many have forecasted to be.
Well, I think to understand what's going on, as we said, we need to go back 4, 5, perhaps 10 years. As at 2 years ago, that's 2009, 2010, even the Americans analyzed the economy compared to the Chinese economy. At that time, America was producing about 50,000 engineering graduates every year. China was producing 300,000 engineering graduates every year. That's 2009, 2010. Because you have to understand where the economy is coming from. Now, by now, those figures have changed. Last year, China overtook America as the largest market for computers, for PCs. This year, they have done that in both computers and in automobile. The Chinese economy is the largest automobile economy in the world. So if you produce cars anywhere in the world, China is the largest market. So we are not talking of a bubble, something that just happened and will go away. The Chinese economy has been growing and growing on fundamentals. They are growing on technology. They are growing on resources. They are self-sufficient in food. They do not import food. They are self-sufficient in most basic things. They are self-sufficient in technology. So this is an economy that is built on very solid grounds. So it's not going to just be weak because something goes wrong. So that's why Europe and America understands that this is something fundamental. It's not a temporary thing. And that's why we are saying what we are saying.
Okay. Now, while Nigeria wants to tap into this rising how do I put it, world power, as it were. What lessons can the Nigerian government learn from China,
well,
the emerging China?
The lessons, emerging China,
we're trying to tap into the Chinese economy. Yes. So what can we learn from them?
The lessons are they are facing us. We are seeing them in our eyes. Are we ready to learn it? The lessons are there. It's not China, it's India, it's Singapore, it's Brazil. First and foremost, investment in education. China, India, Brazil, Singapore, they are where they are today because there was heavy investment in education. Education that translates into economic power. So education in engineering, in the sciences.
Specifics,
in the sciences that produce your engineers and your scientists that can bring efficiencies in your production. The Japanese economy was built on engineering excellence. They had no raw materials. They imported everything. But sheer engineering excellence built the Japanese economy. The Chinese have learned that. So it's up to Nigeria. Are we ready to invest in education? We don't want to invest in education. We are paying lip service to education. And we want to grow an economy. You see, the oil in the ground will not grow your economy. It's the brain power that grows any economy. So, first lesson, we have to decide to invest heavily. The key word is heavily in education. You have to start to produce hundreds of thousands of engineers who can do engineering work.
But we do have graduates every year who come out from the engineering department.
That's the word. Who can do engineering work, who do not have theoretical engineering knowledge. Engineers who can do engineering work who can produce things with their hands.
We have technical colleges. Are you saying that we should have more, or they're not?
The quality is low. The numbers are low. We do not have enough universities. We do not have enough engineering schools. We have almost zero in terms of quality, research capacity. These are the things that made China, India, Brazil get to where they are. So first we have to invest heavily in education. People talk about corruption. The real issue in Nigeria is if you have that level of education and the efficiencies are there, corruption will find its level. If you look at the telecom, corruption has found its level. Nobody is going to Nitel to bribe anybody to get telephone lines. So the key thing, you have to invest heavily in education, far more than we are doing now. You know, the number of universities first are too few. The quality that you get when you go to the schools, people who have gone to schools in recently, last 5 to 10 years, will easily admit you have to be exceptionally good as a student. You have to decide that I want to come out of school with a very good degree, get good education. I don't want to cut corners. But cutting corners is like the rule in our educational system. So that is the thing. If we don't get that right, no amount of policy is going to do it. Economic policies are there to operate in an environment where the basics are in place.